We got Batman, we got Birdman, and he's been in a Spider-Man.
Yeah. As a Birdman.
As a Birdman.
Wow.
So, what winged creature is Michael Keaton going to be next? Man.
I got it.
Yeah?
Quail Man. In
Quail Man.
In the Doug movie. He's going to play Doug.
Thank us later, Nickelodeon.
Yep. It's owned by Disney now. So
Oh.
You're welcome, Disney. So Nickelodeon owned it and then sold it, and Disney picked it up. So like, there's a legit you can watch the Disney Doug episodes on Disney Plus, but it's like in the middle of like the run, and the quality goes down, and that's how you get Doug's first movie and stuff like that. But yeah, the Nickelodeon Doug's better.
But that's not why we're here to talk.
Not yet.
Not yet. Till Michael Keaton
does
Quail Man.
There's like a weird Doug's like in his 70s and he's like looking back at his life, you know?
Why we're here is to talk about the best movies of Michael Keaton, because there's a little movie coming out that no one's going to watch. But you know what they will watch? Some of these movies we got on this list.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I mean, you're a big Michael Keaton guy, right?
I'm a Michael guy, yeah.
Yeah, you're a fan of all Michaels, most Michaels at least. Yeah, I just love Michael Keaton. I think he's just such a fun, he just seems like a chill dude.
Yeah.
Who's in good movies.
And he understands that it's just a job.
Yeah, I think he knows which job he's doing, you know, which is perfect. He knows exactly what he's supposed to do when he walks onto a set.
We're gonna do this chronological order.
Okay.
So what got him into the stratosphere, basically, I guess he was doing TV before, but Mr. Mom, obviously, which I saw some tweet, I don't know if I could find it to screenshot it, but basically dads didn't exist until about 1983 when Mr. Mom came out.
Well, they existed, but they were doing the dad stuff. They were going to work and
being terrible fathers.
Yeah.
And so Mr. Mom, this was a new concept back then, was basically he's a stay-at-home dad.
Imagine the pitch, guys, he's a dad, loses his job, now he's a mom.
And they went nuts.
Mr. Mom. They were like, can't be done.
But I will say Michael Keaton is so great at the role because it's it is kind of corny that it took till the 80s for them to realize that dads should do stuff.
And that it's played for a laugh?
Yeah. But it's he takes it very seriously in the movie. Obviously, he's overwhelmed because 3 kids, or however many kids he has, I can't remember.
Probably 100.
Might have more. But it is a hard thing to do, is to raise kids when you don't have any experience doing that before. So, but also there's some cool gags that everyone goes through, like ironing clothes, making toast. Those things always
burning the toast.
You mess it up sometimes. You know?
He's just really great. I think he's just a real great, low-key, blue-collar feeling guy. He can do that, you know. He can also play billionaires, but, you know, sometimes he's best when he's just a dude with a job or not a job.
Well, he's got a job to be Mr. Mom.
Yeah, Mr. Mom. Man, what a movie.
And then he does quite a few things between that and doing things, but he didn't really get his big Hollywood stuff until Beetlejuice came onto the scene. Sophie, my daughter, loves Beetlejuice. Yeah. I watched it this weekend.
Really?
Again.
It's a great movie.
Yes.
It's a great, this is just what launched him. Mr.
Him
Mom,
and Tim Burton. Well, Tim Burton also did Pee-wee, but what Beetlejuice gets right, and what I hope the sequel does, is that he's not the focus of the movie.
Because that's the thing, and Beetlejuice is barely in the first Beetlejuice.
Yes, he's the Jaws.
Yeah.
The Jaws tactic always works with movies like this.
Yeah.
You don't want the thing to overstay its welcome.
Exactly.
And that's why reboots sometimes miss the mark.
Do you have a Beetlejuice impression?
Yeah, hold on. What am I supposed to say? I
find my Beetlejuice impression isn't him saying things. It's him ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey, what are you doing here? Hey,
hey. What makes him such a great part of Beetlejuice is that last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
When it's it's Beetlejuice time, said 3 times, boom, he's out. He's going nuts. He's just he's
He's hamming.
So good.
Hamming it up.
He's so crazy yet so scary a little bit because he rides that line perfectly. Like, let me be a goof, but I'm scary when I need to be.
Yeah. And you may have not seen Beetlejuice in a while. Catherine O'Hara's in it.
It wasn't like Beetlejuice 88?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like if you don't look at the one in the middle, it was like a solid 1-2 punch of Beetlejuice and Batman.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, like, do you hear those stories of people being like so mad about him being Batman? Mr. Mom's Batman?
And what's crazy is that's how it always is with Batman.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, what? That person's Batman?
Yeah.
And then they crush it.
The Machinist is Batman?
Twilight guy is Batman?
He's great as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's one of the few that's also just really great as Bruce Wayne. It's a Bruce Wayne that, like, I really like because it's a Bruce Wayne who has just, like, been Bruce Wayne for a while.
Yeah.
And we don't have to deal with that whole, while I love Pattinson, I'm excited for the journey he's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this Batman, it's like, yeah, he kind of figured out the whole, like, you got to kind of be, like, a goofy billionaire, guy, like, who'll just buy whatever. And I love that he's so good at it. He's so good at that kind of comedy of being like, what if we sat at opposite ends of the table and ate, and how weird that would be. And I love him more as Bruce Wayne than I do as Batman.
And he also in both movies gets a really stellar cast to play against.
Yeah.
Obviously the first he gets Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
and the second he gets Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah. But I think what makes him amazing is he knows when to play it serious, when to play it goofy.
Yeah.
And that's why you cast Michael Keaton, because even if it's a very serious movie, he can get you a joke in there.
And I think, too, to be so invested at the time, like late 80s, no one's making comic book movies. The only one you got is Superman.
Yeah.
And to just trust this, like, who is now an auteur, to, like, be like, hey, we're going to make this, and hopefully it's huge. And him to be like, yes, I am Batman. To this day, to still be like, no, I'm Batman.
Yeah.
And to just love it so much. And it's like, it makes me, like, he's just giddy about it, and that makes me giddy about it, you know?
We'll see him in The Flash, so.
Yeah, it's kind of the only part I'm looking forward to.
1996, he releases a movie with Andie MacDowell, known as Multiplicity.
Yeah, I think maybe there's, like, really one aspect that would not fly these days.
There's two.
Oh, yeah, sorry, there's the two. Yeah, I apologize for that, yeah. There are two. Yeah, but still just, like...
But the concept is very funny.
It's very high concept. Yeah. It's very 90s. It's very like how I saw this movie, just on HBO one day.
Yep. That's where it belongs, on TV.
I love Michael Keaton. I'll check this out. And I was like, this thing's wild.
It gets really wild. So if you don't know what Multiplicity is about, because I assume most people haven't seen it.
No.
He basically figures out how to clone himself. And then him being a 90s dude is like, well, I'll get one to have sex with my wife.
Yeah.
I'll get one to do work. I'll get one to, and then and then one obviously clones another, and then
yeah. So the whole thing, it's like if you don't clone yourself, and you're cloning a clone,
things are gonna go.
Things
awry.
aren't gonna be all okay.
But it's the 90s, so there's one that is gay.
Yeah.
There's one that is mentally challenged, and then there's one that's just a butthead.
Yeah.
And which is supposed to like represent who we are as people, but it's like...
Is that the one that wears a backwards hat, the butthead?
Might.
There's also, I can't remember what it is. I haven't seen it forever, but I don't know why every time I think about this movie, there's a laugh or a joke that involves a wallet. And I cannot remember what it is, but like, that's how weird and goofy this movie is. It's like, I remember that one moment, cannot tell you what it happens in it. But now I gotta go watch it.
I just remember them living in the mother-in-law's house, part of the upstairs in the garage, and I was like, "That's my dream house." That's all I took away from the movie.
I think too, and I don't know exactly when does Nutty Professor come out?
And it's like 2 years after.
Yeah, it's like this is really that like an actor, like we see it all the time now. Oh, an actor, but like they're acting against themselves, and there's like 10 of them. Like, it really is.
And I remember the like technology to make it was like, we're doing a lot.
Yeah, in Back to the Future, we're doing it like 10 times.
Yeah. And then two movies that are connected together and came out roughly around the same time. Jackie Brown and Out of Sight. He plays the same, is it a detective or a
PI or something?
It's like FBI, CIA or something like that. Or I don't know. But basically he's hunting down criminals.
Yeah.
But in the very like noir way, and not in like I'm gonna shoot you dead type of way.
He's gumshoe.
And in Out of Sight, he's not really as main of a focus, but in Jackie Brown, his character obviously is a bigger focus.
Yeah, and it's like they're based on books.
Yeah,
and this is a character in the book, so it makes sense. It is just really interesting to see, like, again, two like auteurs being like, yeah, we're making a movie with the same character. You know,
they made a cinematic universe before it was cool. So, but yeah, he plays it very straight. He's not like, obviously, why you go to watch Jackie Brown or Out of Sight. You go to watch Jackie Brown for Pam Grier. You watch Out of Sight for George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez. But he's really great in them. Yeah. And then...
Good cop.
Yeah. Speaking of cop, we go to the other guys. We just fast forward.
That's like... Yeah, because he kind of like... He doesn't disappear. Yeah. But he kind of doesn't like do much for a while. From like early 2000s to like...
Well, he talks about, you know, in his roundtable that he did a couple years ago, he's like, spend time with your kids. Yeah. And so he would still make movies, but he would just...
Yeah, like he's in like maybe some kids movies. He's like in... Is he in Herbie Fully Loaded? I think.
I'm sure
it's like he's in like random stuff like that. This is so stupid that we're even crediting this. We're like, I think this is the beginning of like Michael Keaton coming back and just stealing our hearts again. Yeah. Because he just shows up. He's in it for maybe 10 minutes. And he's just... And he's like up against dudes like Wahlberg and Farrell and The Rock,
Samuel L.
Jackson, and you're just like, this man is holding his own, and he's just playing it so straight, and that's what I love about it. But he's saying those ridiculous things, the TLC bit, which everyone loves. I love like the whisper fight. I love when he just gives them like every time he has to hand back all their stuff that was stolen. Like he's just so good.
It's good. I mean, he's just a good little dude. And then off of Other Guys, he gets cast in Birdman, which is a meta commentary on basically Batman starting the superhero thing. And obviously, by the time Birdman was made, the MCU was just starting. Yeah. So just think if like Birdman happened now, how much more meta it would be.
Oh, they'd be like Downey Jr.
Yeah, you know? Like, but it's also like waxing philosophical about how actors, the method for acting. Yeah. Because, you know, there's a million different methods. And obviously the cast is really good in this, but Michael Keaton just nails.
And he has to. He's like he's like the main guy. Yeah. He's got all those monologues. He's got all like the long takes. Like it really, it's a feat for him. Yeah. You know? It's crazy. I can't remember who won that year, but that like he didn't win.
Yeah, it was a shock that I didn't like Birdman the movie overall. Yeah, but his performance is like, oh, he's for sure locked in.
Is that the year where he has a speech and he like starts to pull it out and then he puts it back?
Yeah, everyone was like, well, I guess he's never going to do superhero movies again, and then he gets cast as the Vulture in Homecoming, which he joins the MCU,
and he's so good,
and he's so great. I mean. There's some faults with that movie, but
not him.
Not him.
He's so perfect for what they're doing, for what they needed at that moment. Like, no more, like, we don't need anyone, like, big and crazy. We just need, like, what would this dude be? And it was in that run of, like, what if, like, you kind of thought about if they were right or not? And he plays it, like, really well. That, like, hey, man, I'm just trying to make a living out here. I'm trying to provide for my family.
Exactly. And it juxtaposes what's so great about Spider-Man. I mean, we've talked about Spider-Man quite a bit lately, but it's like, you know, Spider-Man will always do what's right, even if the bad guy isn't truly bad. Yeah. Like, he'll save them at whatever cost, and obviously saves Vulture in this, but Vulture comes back. Vulture comes back in Morbius. Let's get Morbin time. No, we're not going to talk about Morbius. But before we leave you, two movies we should probably mention. One that most people probably haven't seen, but Spotlight.
Oh, so good.
Won all the Oscars. Yeah. But Michael Keaton as the leader of the Boston Globe is just...
There's like things that he can do that are always believable. One, be a cop. Two, be a journalist.
Yeah.
I don't know if he hasn't done it much, but it's like, he just fits so well in there. And he's a great leader. Yeah. You know?
It's like... It's how I imagine I would like to be a leader in terms of like...
Sit on a desk like this.
Sit on a desk, you know, and be like, not necessarily lead, but sort of just like everyone comes up with ideas and he's just like, interesting, good point. What about this instead? Yeah. And then it like opens up everybody's mind. Yeah. Obviously, it's a heavy subject in Spotlight. Absolutely. which is a perfect segue to Worth, which is his movie about how much does life cost after 9/11?
Yeah.
Because he's like an insurance adjuster or whatever. It's probably not right, but he has Stanley Tucci's in this too. He's in Spotlight, right?
Yeah.
And it's very much them doing the Spotlight again, but with 9/11. And so, but, obviously people are like, well, that's just a cash grab because they already did this. But the way they handle it and the way you see Michael Keaton's character just like slowly change from like doing his job to like, well, this is not easy because people have lost their lives.
Yeah.
And it's very much just like, I'm surprised a lot of people haven't watched it. It was on Netflix back in 2020 and I reviewed it.
Wow.
And I remember nearly crying as I was doing the review, just thinking about.
I need to see it.
Just because of how great Stanley Tucci and Michael Keaton are in it. It's just, it's good.
Tucci and Keaton. Man.
But yeah, that's it. That's a lot of movies. If you haven't seen any of those, congrats.
Sorry.
Congrats. I don't know how you lived this long without seeing them.
And I just apologize. I'm sorry that you haven't experienced the joy of Keaton.
But guess what? Now you can.
And you should.
You should. And
let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
You want to get nuts?
Un esercito di prole